And later, to their amusement and to their surprise, they realized that hundreds of others and thousands of other CAs who have actually qualified CAs are also doing CFA because they have realized that their theoretical background or their CA background after a point in time becomes repetitive. Trust me, Mayank, CFA is for anyone and everyone who has a logical bent of mind.
As you have mentioned somewhere in the middle, I'm not someone who's having a very good academic record or a very good past.
Yeah.
So that's also a loophole or maybe a drawback that I'm having on my profile.
Understood.
I'm having my 10th, 12th and grads below 60.
Yeah.
10th and 12th are below 50. I'm not having a very good academic record.
Yeah.
And then after working for somewhere like 5 years, I gave it a break to complete my master's.
Yeah.
So that also affects my profile.
Yeah.
How should I see it?
Yeah. Is CFA for me? You check a lot of comments on my videos. A lot of people ask, sir, is CFA for me? Some people say that, sir, I am from CA background. Is it for me? Some people say, sir, I am an engineer. Is it for me? Today I had got this amazing question where one of the aspirants asked, sir, I am from bio background. Is CFA for me? Some people say, sir, we don't have maths background. Is CFA for me? Sir, we are from BCA background. Is CFA for me? My only answer to that, after having myself cleared 3 levels of CFA in the first attempt, as well as seen my students flourish with CFA from multiple different backgrounds, right? In the last 5-6 years, Mayank, I have taught thousands of students, and I have clearly seen here that in the last 5-6 years, these thousands of students have come from multiple backgrounds, all these backgrounds which we just discussed, with multiple these gaps which you believe are impediments to your success. Either you have low marks in maths, or you have low marks, or you have not taken maths at all, etc. So it gives you that impression that maybe CFA is not for you. Trust me, Mayank, CFA is for anyone and everyone who has a logical bent of mind. And let me give you a very simple test for you to objectively gauge whether CFA is for you or not. So Mayank, assume that you come from a village. I know you come from the capital of our country, so you are the last person who should assume that you come from a village, but assume that you come from a remotest part of the country, and it is a village you have never seen traffic signals in life. You suddenly come to a city, and you are crossing a road, and suddenly you see a traffic light which is blinking red, sometimes green, sometimes orange, and you are confused that on which light should you cross the road, because you are not aware about the traffic rules or the traffic signals. You are not aware of the color codings. So now, Mayank, tell me, how will you cross the road? How will you realize which color is to cross the road and which color is to stop?
By looking people around me.
Beautiful, man. And look at how quickly you have answered. Look at how quickly you have answered, and this clearly validates for you. This clearly validates for you that you have a logical bent of mind. Trust me, I ask this to a lot of people. Some people take time. I have seen that you answered it very quickly, because I think by design, if you have a logical bent of mind, it comes automatic to you, right? A lot of people say, sir, I don't know. If your answers are, sir, I don't know, sir, is there any other information available, etc., it means that there is some hurdle or some barrier in your head which is not letting you go to the logical zone. You are still stuck in spoon feeding, which means you need things to be fed to you, which you will memorize and later narrate, which is basically called a news reader mentality, which means that you feed me anything and then I can very easily narrate that to others, right? On the other hand, CFA is analytical rules. What is CFA? It is Chartered Financial Analyst, which means people who can analyze the past with their logical bent of mind and predict the future and give insights of how that future can be better. This is the role in a macro construct without getting into the nitty-gritties of what these roles are. At a macro level, this is what you are supposed to do. And you know what, Mayank? There is clearly a analytical tool which exists in finance, which is exactly based on the construct which you just mentioned, that when I don't know something, I will look around and check what others are doing. So when a stock gets listed in a industry or in a market, the historical data about that stock is not available. So
Mm-hmm.
how do people predict the growth of this stock or the future of this stock? They look at the industry average. They look at what are the other stocks in the similar domain, how are they doing, and given that this company or this stock also belongs to the same industry, there is a construct called comparative analysis, which means you compare the performance of this stock with the industry average to predict how this stock is going to go or do in future, right? And this is exactly what the logical bent of mind which you mentioned. So hence, please trust me that if you have any inhibition that you had lesser marks, if you had any inhibition that you scored 50%, this, that, etc., throw it out of the window, because I have seen enough data points on my own students who have cleared CFA level 1 with flying colors, with very minimal or zero background in maths, with low scores in the exam, but with a good, sharp, logical mind like yours, and they have been able to clear it. In fact, let me give you some other data points, and there are several participants who drop CA and they attempt CFA, pass it with flying colors, and create an amazing analytical profiles. You know why? Because CA at the heart of it is very theoretical. It involves mugging up a lot of corporate principles and this, that, etc., rules of taxation, rules of auditing, etc. So it is very theoretical. Hence, a lot of analytical, or I would say, minds which get bored of theories, they shun CA and they take up CFA, which is very practical, very analytical, and move forward in their careers and create an amazing profiles. And I'm so thankful to those kids and aspirants who did not give a heed about what others are saying. They clearly understood their intrinsic power of being analytical rather than theoretical. And hence they switched sides, moved from the theoretical side to CFA. And later, to their amusement and to their surprise, they realized that hundreds of others and thousands of other CAs who have actually qualified CAs are also doing CFA, because they have realized that their theoretical background or their CA background after a point in time becomes repetitive. Their career progression becomes stagnant, and hence to break their career ceiling, they too do CFA to move into analytical side of things, because analytical side of things is much more rewarding and it gives you a much better exponential growth in your career. And here is the final data point which will help you understand this perspective better, that 30% of all my students, which means 1 in 3 people who take my course every year, are from CA background, which clearly gives a very high validation that even CAs who pass this very amazing and hard exam, where the pass rate is just 3 to 5%, they too finally seek refuge under CFA to then break their career ceiling and move to the next level of growth.